Hello everyone, my name is Toussaint L'ouverture. Welcome back to my channel. This is a community where we talk of fragrances, art and culture. Please keep watching if you like this type of content, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel so that we can build this community together. Today I'm taking on a challenge and doing a tag video. A beautiful young lady YouTuber, uh, her channel name is Perfume Lover 80, and she studied this tag video where she invited people and some specific other YouTubers, and also invited others to have videos where they feature their black bottled perfumes. So I'm new in YouTube, and if you've been following me at all, you know that my very first attempt at a video was showcasing my black bottled perfumed, and I called that video an attempt to get as much attention as I could, black ass perfume collection. But really the idea was to showcase my black perfumes because, like I said, these are the perfumes that impress me the most. And it seems to me perfumes that are bottled in black or that have a name Noire, the perfumer or the marketer's intention is to create an impact. And so some of the perfumes in my collection, I think, have an impact, and they are different, and I'm really happy to share them with you. So this is the tag video. My black is beautiful. I am actually adding a tad bit of a twist to it, and I'm calling it my black is beautiful, my black is strong, because as you would see the artwork that I am also going to showcase, you know, I like to share some interesting artwork with you as part of this perfume talk, and I am really excited to showcase this incredible artwork, and you would see it goes really well with the video. It's about black is beautiful, but it's also about black strength. So without further ado, let's start with two fragrances at once because they both, to me, have the same kind of vibe, in the sense that they are in black bottles, but they are sort of fresh enough to wear on an everyday basis. So let's call this our everyday black. And this is Black Perfecto from La Petite Robe Noire de Guerlain. So La Petite Robe Noire means, you know, black little dress. So it can be dressed up or down. And the main note in this fragrance is rose and leather. So because of the leather note, I like to think of it as my little motorcycle chick wearing perfume. If I could ride a motorcycle, I would definitely, even if I were a black dress, sort of put a black leather on, and I think that would go really well together. So that's La Petite Robe Noire and by Guerlain. And of course, as in all my videos, I write down the name in the description channel. So you may also want to follow up with the description channel in case you are not familiar with the name of those fragrances. And my second one, which also I find is fresh, but in a black bottle, is Coco Noir by Chanel. I've spoken in length about this perfume. It's fresh, it's sophisticated, and it's classy. So it could be someone's signature, if you ask me. It's really a no-brainer. And so I want to move from my everyday black to, what can I say? My black is sexy. And I have fragrances that are sexy, but I find the black bottled fragrances that I have that I would say are extremely sexy are by Tom Ford. And the first one is Black Orchid. So it was a debut fragrance by Tom Ford, actually, that he launched in 2006. And that was also my introduction to Tom Ford, Black Orchid. And that was the first time I smelled something so intoxicating. You know, it's like this rum-soaked black orchid and narcotic ylang type of deliciousness. And it's also fresh and smoky because it has a bergamot and bitter orange note. So it just smells like a beautiful man to me. But on the woman, it's extremely sexy and the sex appeal is like on overdrive. So this is Tom Ford Black Orchid. And then we have, really along the same theme, we have Tom Ford Noire Extreme. Clearly, this is a very masculine looking fragrance. So it's really marketed for men. But most of Tom Ford fragrances are really unisex, so both men and women can wear them. But this one is just boozy and intoxicating. Also, it's spicy, but I think what makes it work for women is because it also, so it's spicy because it has a base note of nutmeg, but it's also light and sweet because it has a blend of jasmine and rose and orange. And so when a man wears it, it's like a beautiful man. After all, Tom Ford was the figure in the advertisement campaign for this fragrance. So he represented this fragrance, and it just, I think that's what you would imagine he smells like. Really, just a beautiful man. But on a woman, again, that leaves an impression. And I actually told my little story about this where hubby didn't really know what hit him. One time we were dancing together and I had this perfume on. It was like, wow. And then we have, has a funny name. So I want this to be PG-13. So I'll call it F Fabulous. But to me, it's really just a fun fragrance in a sense that it's spicy, but because it has this lavender note and vanilla and amber and bitter almond, that makes it kind of powdery and in a very cozy and feminine way to me. So that's the type of thing I like to wear on a girl night out and just kind of giggle around and feel all fabulous. So that's Tom Ford F Fabulous. Now, the final set of black fragrance I have, let's call it My Black is Confident. And so they give a bit of a powerful, confident woman vibe, I think. So I was looking for fragrances to add to my collection, black bottled fragrances that weren't so oozing, sexy like the Tom Ford, and that were a little bit more extraordinary than, you know, something like Coco Chanel. And the first one, so I have three of them. The first one I want to talk about is by Bun Number 9, Success is the Essence of New York. So I've spoken about it. This is the first fragrance house in New York led by a woman. And the fragrance was designed to smell like money. And hubby is really consistent, a person. So he doesn't really know much about what I'm wearing. He doesn't know all this obsession about matching my scent with everything else. But he's pretty consistent whenever I wear this, and he has some interesting little comment to make about it. So just on this basis alone, this fragrance meets my approval. But beyond that, it really has ingredients that cause it to be a bit powdery. So it kind of feels like a rich boudoir woman. And so it's not cheesy because it has such expensive ingredient, and it's a little bit animalistic and confidence about it. So you take someone seriously who wear it. So if you don't put too much of it, it's really something you can even wear to a job interview. And it's, you know, when you get this promotion as a CEO or something, that's in that family of fragrance. And so my two new acquisition, the first one is Angelique Noir by Guerlain. And this is from their more private line, and the line that they call L'art et la matière. Now, the art, which means the art and raw material, but that's really a pun for a French expression that is l'art et la manière. the art and the manners. But be it as it may, this particular fragrance, I mean, the bottle is not completely black, but clearly everything about the presentation is black. The name Angelique Noir means black angel. And so when you open the fragrance like that in this beautiful black case, and so you get this distinctive Guerlain. You know, I mean, the house of Guerlain is the house that made Shalimar, after all. You know, it's the first Oriental fragrance. So the opening is sharp. It's very sweet. I was actually a little bit scared when I first smelled it on, but it turned very quickly to something milky and luxurious. And basically, and then because it has some freshness to it, so because of the bergamot note, it really basically come out to be a very creamy and luxurious and rich smelling woman fragrance. So it fits really well in my black theme because that's very different in the sense that it's not oozing sexy, it's just oozing confidence and it's just oozing luxury. So on the technical side, what ultimately makes this perfume works, Angelique Noir, is really because it is this contrast of a fragrance. So it's made with Angelica. So Angelica is this sort of small flowers that is like that has a biting green facet to it, and it's in the family of parsley, the parsley herb. So you take this sort of green parsley note, and it's enveloped with the softness of vanilla that Guerlain is known for. Like, I tend to have some issues with vanilla sometimes because they turn too syrupy or too sweet on me, and I just would prefer those type of perfumes on my teenage daughters. Not that I think perfume has an age, but on a personal taste, I'm not really extremely comfortable with extremely sweet perfumes. So, but Guerlain, if there is one thing they're known for, is really the quality of the vanilla. So perhaps it's because of the quality of the vanilla, this vanilla just really works in this fragrance. So I have not really worn it well a lot because it's really better for the fall. So I'm waiting to see how its performance is during the fall season. Last but not least, this is a fragrance from the house of Sillage. So I got a black cupcake. So the house of Sillage was founded in 2011 by a woman. So, and this is my kind of things. And so this fragrance is Emerald Rain. So the house is known clearly for very luxurious product. And as long as I was going to get a cupcake, this is actually my first one. I really wanted something that was not crazy sexy because I wanted to enjoy this fragrance and wear it a lot. So, you know, this coming fall and winter. And I wanted something that just, since it cost a pretty penny, I really wanted something that just conveys sheer luxury. So this fragrance is marketed as such. It's marketed as conveying unprecedented aroma of confidence and sheer luxury. So that's what it says. So I was curious about it. And when I received it a couple of days ago, I gave it, you know, several days tries, and I would say it delivered as far as I'm concerned. It's a spicy fragrance. So it's what I'm wearing today. It began with this sweet cottony feel. So at the same time, you pick up quickly the spice with the cardamom and the coriander and nutmeg from Indonesia. The ingredients are very rich. And so the whole thing, however, what struck me is that you get this burst of spice, but at the same time, it's smelling very clean and fresh. So to me, this is quite unusual. That's really what convinced me upon receipt of this fragrance and trying it. I find it quite unusual because I was a little bit scared that something with cardamom. I thought I was just going to be a spice bomb, kitchen sweet tea. But it turned out to be maybe because of the skill of the perfumer. It's really well blended, so it's not pungent spice. So it's very airy and rich and clean. And a lot of the French perfumes are like that. Like when you're trying to convey class, richness, you want to have something creamy, but that's also airy and rich and clean smelling. So to me, this fragrance is all that. So I'm just really happy. And it's actually even smooth enough for me to go to bed with it. And so I seriously even wore it to bed last night. And because in its dry down, it becomes even calming. So I'm very picky at that price range. And the fact that I'm pretty happy with this purchase. It was a blind purchase. And so that says a lot. So I'm really loving this yellow number right here. And it's totally looking like me right now. So I've shown you a range of black fragrances, and I'm really happy to have taken this challenge of my black is beautiful, and I've added my black is strong, because as you can see, those fragrances, whether we're talking about, even a little bit more casual one, to like seduce and destroy, sex appeal, Tom Ford, beautiful men, fragrance, and we moved to sort of the elegant and sort of a little bit on the pricier range, but I feel that these fragrances are worth it in terms of conveying this CEO, confident, beautiful woman feel. So I hope you enjoy those perfume, and if you have some that you think have those same vibe and you want to share this information with me, I would really like to engage in this back and forth conversation with you and not just speak by myself. So now, folks, for the artwork right here, there is no other artwork that I can think to share with you about a video about Black is beautiful and Black is strong. There is no other painting that I can, in my personal collection, in my families, that I can think of that epitomize more, this thing, this, idea of black, my black is beautiful and my black is strong. So this painting is by Simil, an Haitian artist, an eminent Haitian artist. I don't even need to go into the detail of his qualification because I want to focus on the painting, and I'll write the name again in my description. But this painting is depicting none other than one of the forefathers of Haiti as a nation, as the first black nation, and the first black republic. And in this painting, Simil is depicting Toussaint L'ouverture. Toussaint L'ouverture is a colossal figure who really should bestride everyone's mind. We are in the midst of global protests on behalf of Black Lives Matters. And Toussaint L'ouverture for centuries represented what it means to be a historical figure who is black. And the story of Toussaint L'ouverture, I'm hoping, if you're not familiar with it, you can learn more about it. And, and the story of Haiti really should reverberate in all of us in terms of finding ourselves in this fight to uphold the dignity of the black race. So Toussaint L'ouverture was a slave, and he was born a slave in Saint-Domingue, and but ultimately purchased his freedom. He self-taught himself in many things, including military strategies, and through military and political acumen, he would ultimately drive huge battalions of armies, French armies of Napoleon, the Spanish, and the British, and, you know, have them fight among themselves, and just through his political acumen, just drive all these battalions from the island of Hispaniola, which is, you know, the island of Haiti and Dominican Republic. So Toussaint, as a person, you know, historically, from historian research, it really represents he is an enigma, in a sense that on the one hand, through his savviness, we know that he was able to appeal and work with the French, and, you know, he was a French general, you know, and some view him, you know, as this French ally. But at the same time, you know, he also was recognized as one that perhaps was putting a face to better strategize for the rebellions against slavery. So in this painting, Toussaint L'ouverture is portrayed as this French general, and in all his glory, you know, in his uniform. But if we look closely, what we really have is two men into one. We can see the general right here, but in the back here, we can see the slave and the pen of slavery into the facial expression in this black silhouette in the back. And you see the neck on the front is this, you know, big, colorful army French general thing, but in the back, what we really see is the color that they enchain the slaves. And then you can see in the hand, the shackles in the hand. And again, and then we see a red scarf, which represent the unifying connection between the slave and his voodoo god religion back in Africa. So this painting is about this historical giant of Toussaint L'ouverture, but it clearly reverberates with our existence today. And again, it is because today it is this duality in our existence as we face the world, and we have to draw from our strength and keep this faith and work this world for what it is. But also we have to draw from our strength and resilience even as we are experiencing and carrying all this pain from the past. So to conclude on the technical side of the painting, Simil is a master of light and shadow. And this painting has a lot of similarity with most of his other work, where he depicts pitch black, shadowy figures, and those figures tend to be very elegant figures, but they are typically hidden symbols. As we can see here, there are a lot of hidden symbols that we probably would be so in awe with the genius of the work itself and the colors and the composition we wouldn't see. But, you know, Simil paintings have all these deep meanings to them, and the painting is modern, and this is rendered with exquisite detailed, you know, with the gold and the black. That's really breathtaking, especially when we experience his painting in person. So clearly the camera is not doing justice to this master's work, but I'm hoping you still learn something about this historical black figure who represent such a colossal figure and experience, you know, of being the forefather that ultimately drive Haiti to its independence from France. So I'm pleased I was able to share this with you. Do not forget to like and subscribe and leave me comments. All right, everything I mentioned in the video, like the name of the artist, the artwork, and until next time, bye.